Okay, it's 6:36. And we do have a quorum, actually. I'm here, Pat Bates, San Fernando Valley Audubon. Marie Katz is here. Joe Phillips is here. George Waddell is here representing the California Native Plant Society. And Glenn Bailey is here in his capacity currently as the substitute for RCD of the Santa Monica Mountains. So,
Alternate.
huh?
Alternate.
Sorry. Okay, and,
Isn't Glenn a current member for Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance?
huh?
I am, but Kathy, I was in touch with Kathy in the last hour. She's on.
And she's on there.
So
So you can.
I could be here for that too, either or,
Okay.
but
Either way.
But you can't vote twice.
no.
Yeah.
And, joining us on Zoom, we have, Ann Abramson, Barbara Heidemann. That galaxy, I bet, is Joshua Ramirez, and I will rename him. Hannah Whalen from the U.S. Army Corps is on. Kira Durbin, Larry Frank from the Mayor's Office, Muriel Coden from San Fernando Valley Audubon, Ryan Maida from Friends of Valley River is also on Zoom. So the meeting is really called to order here at 6:38 p.m. We do have a quorum in place in the meeting. We have one guest, and what was your name?
Anne Eager.
Anne. So we have one signed-in guest here. Thank you for being here. I'm going to move right along. Discussion of the March 24th, 2026 minutes. I will make a motion to approve the minutes of the March 24th meeting. Any comments? Any seconds?
Second.
Okay. Any objection to approving the minutes?
No.
And looking at the room,
I'm gonna have to abstain because that's when I was doing my 2 meetings on Zoom.
okay,
It
so
still passes.
wait, Glenn Bailey is abstaining. The other 4 members present in person have approved.
Mm-hmm.
Public comment on non-agenda items within the subject matter. I will ask, Anne, did you want to take a couple minutes to make some comments?
No, thank you. I think a lot of my questions were answered in the minutes
Okay.
before the meeting started.
Yeah, Anne is here with, she's a wildlife rehabber. She has issues with trees being pruned now when they should not be. And I think we're all concerned about that. Do we have anyone on Zoom who would like to make comments at this point?
Non-agenda.
Huh?
Non-agenda.
Non-agenda items. And seeing none. Larry Frank from the mayor's office, who has been invaluable to us.
Hey, hey, everybody. How's everybody doing?
We're doing great, thank you.
All right. Hey, so Pat asked me to speak to the 22 million Prop 4 allocation secured by Assembly Budget Chair Jesse Gabriel and Senator Henry Stern, to also talk about the ranger station, potential ranger station, talk about LE28, if nobody from LE28 is there, and then talk about, I want to talk briefly about the people experiencing homelessness placements coming up, and real quick about our Bull Creek visit that we did with Pat and Dan that had Conservation Corps, Resilience Corps, and Chrysalis along kind of getting educated on the Bull Creek area. So real quick on that, we did do some endangered bird sightings. It was very exciting. We did see the original DG pathway that was sort of overgrown as maybe a goal related to trying to do some work there. after the nesting season, and some clarity about the lack of non-native plants and the importance of keeping a more dense plant life in that environment. So I think it was a very, very productive conversation. There is a little bit of complexity in that we do have like 300 interim placements coming up in the next 4 months in the San Fernando Valley. I could let Rosie talk about that when she comes, but we do have to do something to post and attempt to offer services and get folks from the Bull Creek area. This is our best shot given the openings that are available to us. So we're going to need a lot of help, a lot of support in doing this work, and it's a complicated equation in terms of how to be able to keep repopulation from happening. The park rangers have been amazing in zone 6, 11, and 12. They'll continue to drive or walk it every single day. We've only had a few repops that have all been addressed. It'll be much harder to deal with repops when you can't see what's there. So that's a conversation for maybe future. Sepulveda Basin Wildlife Area Steering Committee is the idea of some kind of community. Um, I don't know if the right word is patrol, but some kind of, eyes on the ground to help us figure out the repop conversation that is going to inevitably be a much harder conversation there, especially as it relates to the needs. But if we clear the pathway where the DG is, that would give us a lot better ability to get a sense of that population. Any questions about that or comments?
Comments. So first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to, walk the restoration area with experts. You may have heard that there was a LA 28 volunteer event at the Basin this weekend. Fuller and CNPS led some fantastic restoration work. So I just wanted to share with you that LA 28 really had a great time and is interested in potentially doing future events. And so I mentioned to them Bull Creek in the fall as a possibility. So they brought like 100 volunteers, so they might be a good resource.
Fantastic. Yeah. And both Conservation Corps and Chrysalis have a request in for the LA 28. I'm sure there are other organizations that are here in the room probably have a request in for funding from LA 28 as it relates to the Sepulveda Basin. But yes. And then
yes.
Yep.
That too.
Yeah. And then on the 22 million Prop 4 funds, the allocation came.
One has a question.
Sorry.
On the Bull Creek DG path, my
Yeah.
understanding is after Army Corps, finished it, turned it over to Recreation and Parks, that Recreation and Parks was responsible for the maintenance.
Yeah.
And so it seems to me that the clearing of a dedicated DG path would be part of that purview. Is that your understanding?
Are you asking me or are you asking?
No, I'm asking,
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Yeah.
You said doing it after nesting, but it seems like it's an ongoing response. My understanding is ongoing responsibility, just like they cut the lawn and, empty the trash, they do everything else and, in the ant lands that they lease.
So
Yeah.
there's vegetation in some areas that are completely covering the DG path, and there's trees that kind of cover, and so it's a question we're going to need some advice on. But it would be great to be able to have a pathway in Bull Creek that follows the old DG path, if possible.
I think as far as responsibility, I think that is something that still needs to be cleared up as to whether that really does fall under RAP's lease or not. I know that Recreation and Parks did help. The city was involved in helping to fund the recreation or the restoration area project, but it seems like it has been wholly neglected since then, and that may be due to a jurisdiction issue where Army Corps and there's not clarity about who's responsible for maintenance. So I think that's something worth, discussing with them.
I don't agree.
You think
It's Rec and Parks.
Okay.
They just
It's
simply.
Rec and
have
Parks.
not Capacity to do it.
And its
always-
resources, it's Rec and Parks and its resources. So that's the mayor's office. We actually care about that, and we will see what we can do to help.
So maybe in the new budget that the mayor proposed, there'll be funding for such things.
Well, they are getting
That's
a
a
little
lot.
bit more funding, but it's still a non general fund department, which is the hardest thing about it. There is an attempt for it to actually get some resources through a ballot measure for November, and we are being supportive of that. But yes, I don't have
And
a
I
great answer
believe
for you,
there's a
Brian.
committee meeting on that tomorrow. What? Isn't there a committee meeting on that tomorrow? On parks funding?
They've got to start meeting on it really quick because the clock's running.
Yeah.
Yes.
If there is a committee meeting, fill us in on that. Is there, Larry, is there a committee meeting on the charter reform thing tomorrow?
On charter reform, but I'm not sure that deals
That's a
with,
charter.
yeah, that's separate from the
There
ballot
is.
measure.
Oh, it's the third.
Well, but the charter reform,
Who's going to
one of
propose
the
it?
recommendations.
Yeah.
Rec and Parks funding, and so I thought I saw something from the Land Trust, or Parks Trust.
Okay,
I'll see if I can find that for you before the end of the meeting.
yeah, it'd be good to.
That'd be great.
Let people know about.
Yeah,
So it's Rules Committee, City Council Rules Committee.
Mhm.
They've got 2 meetings, one later this week and one next, I think it's next week on the fourth, I think.
Rules Committee?
City Council Rules Committee is holding the initial meetings regarding the various topics of charter reform, and Rec and Parks is one of those.
Yeah, they put
Got
through
it.
a lot of,
yeah, I'm sorry, and it's not, it's Thursday, not Wednesday. Thursday at noon is when I have a
Okay.
hold for the charter funding for Parks Rules Committee hearing. I think they were looking for public comment for those who would like to go and advocate for folks.
okay. We get
It
to go
is-
downtown.
Is anybody going to be there? Because I'd be interested in staying in touch with that person.
I might
Okay,
try to
Thanks,
get
Pat.
down there if I can.
yeah. And so next
I'll
next
forward you
question.
this.
Yeah, are we ready to go to next topic?
Yes,
Okay, so the $22 million in Prop 4 allocation that was set aside for the Sepulveda Basin by Assembly Chair Jesse Gabriel and Senator Stern focused primarily on the Sepulveda Basin Vision projects. So the CD6 in the mayor's office has been sort of in lockstep trying to work together with the two state legislators. And we got to walk through tomorrow going on it. So 16 million of it is supposed to go through the city in terms of implementation, and 6 million goes through SMMC, through MRCA. Project number one, if you remember, is the wildlife area. It's the area around the wildlife area with the observation decks, then the intake and outtake. And initially was a $10 million project. We got Deborah Weintraub to get it down to 4 million to make sure it makes it into this allocation. Right at the moment, they're getting $3 million. So we're trying to struggle to see how that can all work. But BOE, it's their project. They are jumping to do it, working with Public Works on the construction side. That I believe is going forward. So it's the bare bones version of it, but the observation decks being repaired or replaced, the intake, outtake, and a couple leveling areas as well. The second project is Sepulveda Vision project project number two, the plan number two, which is the cleanup of the entire basin. It called for $8 million. They have approved $1 million to go into that project, and it's primarily vegetation management working with Crew 4 and River Rangers. They will be part of the conversation tomorrow. The third is sports complex improvements at $6 million. It's project 11. It'll include some lights in a parking lot. It'll include, I think we don't have time to do additional fields. We would like to have done the futsal, which is like small soccer fields, because Nike is actually throwing money at futsal these days. We're going to talk to the legislators about that as being the one possibility. but it's also doing a number of other things in the project. And I should tell you what the list says. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. The other projects on the list, I don't have it right in front of me. But it includes some of the bikeways, it includes some illegal dumping, it includes a few other bollards that keep out some of the car camping, etc., in the sports complex area. And then the third one is Sepulveda Basin project number 11, or actually the fourth one is project number 11, which is the pedestrian access to the basin from Lake Balboa. That's $6 million. They already have $5.5 million from SB1 funds that have been set aside to do what will be a $11 to $12 million project for 3 pedestrian crossings from Lake Balboa at 3 different locations and improvements at Havenhurst. So it would be basically a pedestrian walkways, crosswalks, and a overhead light to stop traffic when people are trying to cross. So those are the big projects. And hopefully we'll get agreement tomorrow in some of the conversations that are going to happen on the ground. And then you asked about the Rangers station, which would be a great project because there's $3.2 million already set aside. That's supposed to be a prefab dropped in right next to the sports complex. In terms of looking at it, there's no way to do it before the Olympics, so it's probably not going to get included in these projects. Although would be a great thing to have a ranger station in the Sepulveda Basin at that time of the Olympics. You had asked, is anybody there from LA28?
No, no one here from them.
So I don't have an authoritative approach to this, but I did hear from a number of people that did have conversations. I think Nurit probably has better information than I have because I think I have it secondhand to you, Nurit. But I believe that at least 3 of the 5 events are moving from north of Lake Balboa to over by Woodley. So the 3 that are moving, as I understand it, are the 3-on-3 basketball, which will be a temporary setup, the modern pentathlon, and I'm not sure if it's the skateboard or the BMX, which stays, which goes. Do you know, Nuri, which one stay? Is it skateboard or BMX that stays?
Yeah, actually, Pat and Charles had the most recent conversation.
Yeah, we had a
tweeted
recent
on that, and I think there was something linked about Sepulveda Basin event locations in the agenda. Maybe Pat could share.
Yeah, it's linked on the agenda, so,
Let me see if I can drop the link in the chat for you, Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry. Give me 1 second here.
yeah, it's right, the link is right in the agenda.
Okay, good.
So there's
Sorry.
basically there will be one event over by Lake Balboa.
Yeah.
What is that?
Huh?
That's the
that?
BMX, right?
That's the BMX.
Yeah, BMX.
Cross-country race. Then, Bailey, basically the driving range is going to be the 3x3 basketball, I believe. The area.
I guess they're
east of
taking
the
it from,
driving range.
they have disassembled it and they're going to reassemble it from the Paris Olympics, as
Yeah.
I understand it.
Exactly. So, yeah, so basically everything, there's in Lake Balboa, it will cause the loss of 1 medium-sized oak tree is all. All the rest of the events are actually north of the Woodley Lakes Golf Course, but they're in the driving range, the dirt field on the north side of the access road, and the
And Larry, I just dropped the link in the chat to the document that kind of lists them and the locations
Yeah.
to our best current knowledge.
Great.
and that, you know, they weren't ready, Howard or Charles kind of memorized it, so they were really not, this wasn't ready for public consumption.
Right.
But that's what they were thinking as of the day we met with them.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
it's
And then-
pretty non-intrusive, but,
Except for that one tree.
Except that one tree, but I think they're gonna require them to replace, and Charles Hanna has access to at least 150 coast live oaks that were spent their first 15 years in boxes so they don't have tap roots. It's the only coastal live oaks or coast live oaks that can actually be transported and replanted.
Yeah.
So he actually
Yeah.
has a very valuable commodity to be able to do some work. Yeah.
There are a lot of mature trees surrounding what is labeled here as Valley Complex 3, so I'll be very interested to hear more about
Valley Complex 3.
what size thing is going in that space and what those potential impacts would be. They're not native protected trees, but they're significant larger trees where I have seen a lot of raptor activity, warbler activity, et cetera.
Yeah. And then you would ask, yes, to do, so the people experiencing homelessness in terms of placements, I'll let Rosie speak to that when she
Yeah.
comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question on the LA 28. Am I then to assume that the Prop K aquatic facility is not going to start the activity prior to the Olympics?
Not an expert. Not an expert. Sorry.
It's sited on the dirt area next to the Valley Region headquarters, north of the access road.
Yeah.
Sort
I
of
just don't know
sited.
I don't know where the modern pentathlon, I think, isn't there swimming involved in the modern pentathlon? Yeah. So I don't know how this is supposed to work. Yeah. I have my own questions.
Aquatic?
Sorry.
Oh, it looked like for the modern pentathlon, they're gonna put in temporary pools there.
Yeah.
And,
Really?
it should be an
That's why.
interesting event, but it looks pretty non-intrusive.
So they're not just having them swim in little tiny little ponds at Woodley Lakes.
They're
golf
not
course?
getting out to swim
The LA
in
River.
No, or
Yeah,
Lake
yeah.
Balboa.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, God.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but it's gonna be, I mean, what's great is the 84 Olympics had no sports in the valley, and there will be 5 sports in the valley, which is a good thing from my perspective compared to where it was. But we all got to do some
Yeah.
hard work to make it work. Yeah.
Definitely. Just for the audio record, we now have another voting member arrived, Terry of the Sierra Club.
And Kathy Schreiner is arrived.
Oh, hi Kathy, sorry.
Yeah, so we've
Yes,
got,
and Kathy,
we
so
have
we have
more
way
than-
more than quorum now.
yes, we've got a super forum.
Well, the reason I asked about the aquatic facilities, that's been a point of contention of siting from when Prop K first passed, and a lot of community was originally sited closer to the residential areas and looks at different locations. So I just want to make sure now that we finally achieved consensus on where to put it, that the Olympics, even though temporary, doesn't impact the that planning, that consensus, that agreement. I would not want to see them to start all over again or move it as a thing.
Yeah. I assume Rec and Parks would feel the same way.
Temporary pool.
So I think that's a BOE for Prop K. So I hope this people who know, the right hand knows what's left, the timing and all that.
I have something weird that popped up here and I'm trying to make it go away. Where the heck did this thing come from?
You just click on there.
It went away.
Hmm.
Sometimes they act like they're possessed.
Yeah. So that's all I got to say, report wise.
Okay.
Thank
Larry,
you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Larry, I have one comment. You mentioned
Yeah.
something about illegal dumping.
Yes.
When I've been doing my bicycle riding in the Sepulveda Basin, I noticed there's a big pile of illegal dumping on the bike path east of White Oak. That
Oh,
somebody
really?
has right on the bike, right on the road, right in between Oxnard and the bike path. Right east of White Oak. There's a whole pile, large truckload of illegal dumping concrete and dirt. Been there
Okay,
for
can you-
probably about 2 weeks.
Can you give me your phone? I'm sorry, what's the name and what's the phone number? Because I will follow up with you on it.
My name is Joe Phillips,
Joe Phillips, hi. Can I get
818
your, yep,
348
348
8884.
8884. Okay, 818 three
Yeah,
four eight 8884. So I don't lose track of it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Pat has my cell phone too, so you can get my cell phone from Pat too. Anytime.
Next time I'm by there, I'll take a picture. I'll shoot it to you.
That would be beautiful. Thank
I
you.
think, um, I think Miriam at Lake Balboa sent a photo of it, about 2 weeks ago. It's still there. apparently.
Yeah, well, it's been
Okay.
there for at least 2 weeks.
Okay. All right,
Got it.
thank you, Larry.
You're welcome.
I do not see Rosie. I'm here. From CD6.
I've been trying to reach her, so yeah, I'm not sure what's up.
Okay, I think we do have Joshua Ramirez from RAP, if Joshua. But do we have any questions for Larry before I let him get away? Gone. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much, Larry.
of course, my pleasure. Take care, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So Joshua can say a few words to us and let me reduce and. Joshua, are you on? Maybe he isn't on. I took a wild guess that that unidentified phone number was Joshua. Maybe it wasn't.
I see it, Joshua, right there.
Yeah, he's there. It says,
Well, I changed the name to that, but whoever it is,
I will send and ask.
I have done that as well.
Okay.
Okay, well. We'll move ahead. I've got we have an agenda item. We are having just jumping ahead for 2 minutes. We're having huge issues in the basin with dogs. It's like an off-leash dog park in there. And I'm getting emails from all sorts of people about it with photos. The dogs are going in and hunting our ground nesting birds. So it's dead. And
I was there again for this volunteer event this weekend with LA28, and there was an off-leash dog during my walk there just this weekend. So yeah, it is, and it was a large dog.
Do you mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, do you mean stray dogs or people?
No, people walking their dogs, but not keeping them on leash. And so we've been
Yeah.
having some discussion in here about
Irresponsible.
having enforcement signs and citations. They're actually not supposed to have dogs at all in the wildlife area, but if they're going to come in, the one enforceable law we have is the leash law.
Sure.
yeah, and we don't have leash law signs in there. We desperate. And we still have the no fishing signs are still not in place.
I also
And,
saw fishing.
it's just ridiculous.
It's a wild, wild west,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, who do we have next?
When was
I
the
have,
last- I was just gonna ask, when was the last time we had a police presence at this meeting? And when we could have.
well, let's
police-
see if I can
When
round
we
up.
could get the police to actually,
It's been a minute, but I will note that the mayor's office has been convening this task force addressing the basin. It does often include LAFD and LAPD and various city agencies. So I think part of it is just making sure that we are communicating with that group as well. It shouldn't fall all on this wildlife areas committee to deal with enforcement and fire and everything we've been dealing with. So it's been very good that there is a higher level sort of city effort, but we need to make sure to stay coordinated, so.
and obviously it requires them out of their cars and actually do a
Yeah.
little bit of work.
There were police here usually before last, because we found grenades.
Grenades?
Well, they were toy grenades, but we
Jeez.
reported them as I didn't know what they were, I was gonna touch them.
It's better to be
Okay.
safe, yeah.
And, so we had like 5 cars.
Okay,
So Pat, with the requests around the signage, I think RAC was at the last meeting, but have we sent like a formal letter to Rec and Parks on the,
I would like to send them a formal
I
letter.
think that would be helpful.
Yes.
So I will draft a formal letter to them. I don't think we need to take a vote on that.
No.
We've been requesting the no fishing sign for 4 months now. And the dog situation is just, because right now we've got all our ground nesting birds ground nesting. And we've got dogs in there hunting them.
Well, it's also a human safety issue. You mentioned you got knocked down, I have a friend who, or a neighbor who she and her dog just had severe injuries and stitches because of off-leash dogs in the neighborhood. It's
Yeah.
not a joke. And
No.
it really is a safety and liability issue for the city.
So I will draft a letter.
And
will you copy Wayne?
Excuse me?
Copy Wayne.
I will copy Wayne. I will copy everyone on earth.
Yeah, thank you, Pat.
Okay.
So who's the guy who runs the sign shop at Rap? Anybody know? He's a
I
great
have no
guy.
idea.
Sign shop.
That's.
Rap has their own sign
no,
shop.
apparently the signs have been produced, they're waiting for carpentry to put them in. Now, why carpentry is putting on signs on metal posts and concrete, I don't know. But, hey,
I could work with you guys on that. I've kind of
That
got
would be
it.
great. Thank you.
Yeah.
thank you, I will, you will be seeing a formal letter. And
Okay.
people have been sending me pictures of like dogs running loose. I have pictures of dogs running loose, so we'll put together a little dog and pony. And I will point out that I could pull a very similar dog and pony show from 15 years ago. Nothing has changed.
And there are, just not to belabor the point, but in addition to dogs knocking over, people walking, elders, et cetera, we have a lot of children also. We do, educational programs, we have school
Yeah.
children, and it's just not appropriate. The one I saw over the weekend was a pit bull, and I've loved many pit bulls in my life, but there are significant issues with that breed and with a lot of these larger dogs. And no matter how much an owner thinks that they are going to be kind, there can still be problems, and there's just absolutely no excuse for having them off leash, not outside of a dog.
We're also getting people racing through on e-bikes.
Yeah. So
Oh,
James
that's a no-
And
Sippets,
we
James,
at one of our recent
Yeah.
bird walks.
yeah, James Sippets is the guy's name. He's great. So let me try him. Yeah, send me the letter. Don't have to put a lot of time into it. Let's just see if we can get it done. I think
Oh,
we're frozen.
yeah, they're frozen.
They're frozen. Hey, Kara and Muriel. Yeah.
See if they notice. Oh, now they got kicked out, so they must notice.
Yeah. Hey, Glenn, how you doing, man?
This is scary. My screen says I'm the host.
Uh-oh.
Okay, while we have a second, could someone clarify for me? I know we have about the ranger station. I know we have a grant to build the ranger station, but we
Yes.
still need a budget to build it?
Well, you have 3.2 million, but it's going to take about 5.8 million or something like that. Yeah. So it's the additional money that's needed. And
Oh,
we
okay.
were thinking
that
it
helps.
might have come from this 22 million, but it sounds like it cannot because this does all things that have to be completed by the Olympics. And I think timing is the big problem. Even though it's a prefab that gets dropped right inside, it has to have a hydrology report. And the hydrology report apparently takes a long, long time to deal with Army Corps. That's what I'm told.
Okay,
But-
that helps clarify. Thank you.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a little bit of that conversation tomorrow if there's desire on the part of the state legislators. Yeah. So yeah, so Kathy Santo Domingo is going to be there, and she's one of the AGMs, and she used to be at Bureau of Engineering, and she actually designed and oversaw the building of the sports complex. So she is the right person. She's an assistant general manager and could maybe be helpful. And she's the one that thinks the ranger station would be the highest, best use of those dollars. So we'll see if it can happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
You hear the announcement? We're trying to get the Zoom.
Oh, I see Pat's name.
Pat,
All right.
You're muted.
We can hear from Hannah now.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well.
Hi.
I just have one update really for the master plan. So it's currently in legal review with our team, but we should be getting it back any day now. I'm supposed to get it back Friday, so I gotta ping them and see where it's at. After we address the comments from legal, then we will need to do a 30-day notice for the tribes before we can put it out for public comment. So I'm anticipating July-ish that we'll have it out for public comment, which I know is a little bit later than what I've been telling you all about April and May, but I did not realize that we had to do this 30-day notice for the tribes before we put it out for public comment. So I apologize for any confusion that may have caused. I did also want to discuss slightly if we were still thinking about the 45-day comment period with the slight delay of the draft going out in July. I just want to make sure that our timeline is still met since we have a schedule to get this out and finalized by next year. So I just wanted to see if everybody kind of wanted that 45-day comment period still, and I'll bring that up to the team.
Yes.
I think the answer is yes, because depending on when it comes out and, our meeting once a month. But we definitely would want to be able to consider it at a meeting with time to get comments in. So 45 days would be much preferable to 30.
And it's not just us, it's all the other
Everyone.
groups and the stakeholders and getting the word out.
Yep, understood. I will bring that up to the team and see that we can do 45 days.
Okay.
That's all I really had.
Okay, thank you. Is there any thought being given to redoing the vegetation management plan? Because the South Reserve is just jam-packed with, like 6-foot high mustard right now. That's all gonna be dry. And on fire at some point.
Yeah. I know that we've discussed, Pat, a number of times the concerns about the South Reserve, and I'm on board with them. I totally agree. Currently, we don't have capacity to redo the vegetation management plan. It is something that I'm trying to look into, but it's me and only me for the Los Angeles district as a whole. So I don't have capacity right now to work on that, but it's in my to-do lists of lists.
Okay. And I hope you got my note about the annual bastard cabbage that is now occupying about 100 acres of the basin. Which is
yes, I did.
Yeah, good.
Yep, please
just good to eat as well.
Yeah, just continue letting me know about, the things and the issues that we have in the basin. I can't be there all the time, so I appreciate any information that you guys are able to provide.
Okay, thank you very much. And okay, anything else, Hannah? I think Larry has a question.
Well, I was just going to say that we've been in touch with Army Corps, with Trevor Snyder. They normally takes 2 years for them to get their budget. We're hoping that they can get their vegetation budget refilled prior to the Olympics. We have some work that we want to do along the LA River, very different than what was, in Zone 6 and into Zone 3. But we also feel some maintenance, so Rosie's been working on trying to figure out a maintenance strategy both with the streets, because the streets are gonna, the medians and the sides are overgrowing, although we do have the graffiti busters actually working there. If you see a bunch of bags on the side of the roads right now. But the last people, I think, was LEFD actually did the mowing. Is that appropriate for them to come back and do that area, or that's not appropriate?
I think that's fine as long as, we're in the loop and we're communicating about the areas that LAFD is working on. Yes, our budget is 2 years out, so we are looking currently at FY28.
Yeah.
But I do think that that budget has been mostly finalized, so I don't know if we'll get anything in before LA28 comes in. But yeah, I mean, open communication as always is appreciated. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely something that we can work with LAFD and the city and everybody else to continue to do those vegetation maintenance activities.
Is that a January 2028 funding cycle or
So our fiscal year is from October until September of next year
right?
or the
So
following year.
would it be October 2028? So after the Olympics? Because the next
Correct.
time there would be the
Yes.
chance for any additional. So that's the thing we need to find a way to see if we can jumpstart, given the
Hmm.
nature of the circumstance. Yeah. And that,
Absolutely.
yeah. And there's areas that are just 100% your responsibility. So that's the hard one. Yeah. But thank you so much
Yeah.
for Zone 6. That was amazing work. But yeah, we need some help.
Yeah, I'll continue to talk to Trevor and see what we can make happen.
Yeah. Thank you. But should I reach out to LAFD? But it's nesting bird season right now, so we can't touch it right now. Is that correct?
We typically don't like to do vegetation removal during nesting season, but we can have a biologist or somebody perform a nesting bird survey prior to vegetation removal, and then we could
Yeah.
continue if we wanted to go that direction.
Okay. So, Pat, what's the answer?
Right now, the area is just jam-packed with nesting red-winged blackbirds, song sparrows, bells, vireos, you name it. So I would say it needs a good, what do you think, Marie, 2 months? Before any vet management would,
The vireos,
for the,
nesting birds in general,
yeah,
I mean, it depends on the species. Some
well, I
species
know, but
really-
I'm talking about the area,
yeah, that area, it
the Western
has,
Reserve.
there's birds nesting in it.
Yeah.
So-
I would
So
wait
Western
on it.
Reserve would be available when? Just so I'm start thinking about it.
Figure,
Really, you
July?
wanna wait till September.
yeah, but
Are we July or are we September?
it, I think I would be thinking about it in July because it's gonna be bone dry. You know, it's,
You get into fire hazard time.
and it'll be on fire, so,
Yeah. So better to have some management and then fires.
yeah. So
Yeah, exactly, and we could, and just, we were talking about this in the Board of Forestry meeting. If you're doing clearance during the extra hot days, you just wanna be extra careful. There was that airport fire that started due to brush clearings because the bulldozer sparked, so you just wanna be careful about clearings during the heat, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we, we can make it work. Especially if they're able to do the nesting bird survey.
Yeah, well, we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Very
I
good.
guess South Reserve, I don't think there's no endangered habitat, but there are nests.
Well, there's Bell's Vireos in there.
Are there very?
Oh, yeah.
So then, yeah, I think we do need to really make sure they're done.
So we'll survey. I mean, I would be keeping an eye on it, frankly. Because that can generate a thing down to 405, which nobody likes.
No.
So,
Needless to say.
okay. Thank you. I got a little update, from Chief Barna. And, so just quickly updating from him, with the fire activity, we've only, for 2026, for the first quarter, 47 incidents versus 103 last year. and versus 63 in 2024, so a big improvement. So we're the lowest incidents in the past 3 years. The rubbish fires are the primary driver, but they've decreased significantly. Vegetation fires remain limited because it's wet right now.
And the goats.
Yeah, we did goats. They're planning for LAFD Crew 4 to begin work in the basin starting in May, following completion of required training and alignment with environmental compliance. This would be mostly, I think, area 11, which is really very sterile, other than the invasive shamal ash. And prior to any management, they'll coordinate with all partners. And yeah, they mentioned that the Army Corps Vegetation Management Plan. So that's on his to-do list in the next decade.
I'll try to
So
get to it sooner than that, Pat.
Okay, thank you.
Are you able to forward did he email the report?
Huh?
Did he email the report?
Yeah,
Line forwarding it to the committee members?
I can forward the letter over to the committee later. Let me make a note to do that.
He didn't say 47 was thanks to the goats and.
No. I will say there's been no fires where the goats were. There's been scattered, some clowns started 3 fires in a row over near Havenhurst one day last week. So that points up the risk of leaving brush piles along there, because if there's any piles of anything that someone can drop a match into, they will do it. Muriel, I see your hand up.
Yes, I'm sorry, but is there a map of what the different regions in the basin are? I don't know where 11 is.
11 is just south of Burbank Boulevard. It's called the Bamboos along Encino Creek. And what I will do is I'll send you the map, but going forward, it'll be up on where we keep documents that's accessible. So we'll make sure everyone can see the map.
Maybe you could take from the agenda.
I can do that. I can't right now
No, I
because
know.
I already did it.
And I'm in person also who's never seen the map, so I don't know how the regions are numbered and all that.
Okay, so
Find it to share screen.
everyone should have the map. You know what, I'll get it out to everyone, so we'll get it out to everyone,
It's that map?
yeah.
I think I have that already.
LAFD's been using with them.
I know that the committee should have received it at some point, but I'll make sure it's easily accessible for everyone, so we all know what we're talking about.
Let me just look at that. I think I have that at home already.
Back on the fires, just really quick, I was at another meeting last week
Fine.
where a fire, I'm not sure what his title was, but he did talk about the basin. It wasn't his COVID basin or Encino. But he said that if they're now small rubbish fires, which makes me wonder, is it because of trash cans, no trash cans, homeless?
They're all homeless, they're not, it's not rubbish spontaneously combusting, I don't think.
Okay. Homeless rubbish, okay.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
and they're small.
And I believe you said it was one man with 3 fires. Did they prosecute? Did they catch?
Share on Zoom.
Oh, let me make you, hold on. Here we go. All right, you should be able to share that now.
Did police catch and prosecute or is that
The
asking too
the
much?
answer is Chief Barna doesn't know.
Okay,
Someone in our Encino neighborhood group put a photo up of who the alleged person was, but it wasn't. The photo they put up was a guy that was throwing rocks at people. So, anyhow,
yeah, well,
let me move the participants away. But yeah, so on the screen, you should be able to see the map. So area 11, which is where it's an easy area to do management, at least in most of it. It's got virtually no native plants. And area 12, which is west, again, it's south of Burbank, west of Havenhurst, cannot be touched now. That's an area of mostly native plants. Area 1 is the South Reserve. You know, 2 is mostly our wildlife area. Maybe excluding the cricket fields. So anyhow, I'll make sure that's available to everybody, so you have it.
Thank you.
what is that big white area right in the middle?
What?
What is that big gray green area right in the middle?
What grade? They're golf courses.
Is that the golf course?
2 golf courses,
Oh,
3.
that's the two golf courses?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
They're unlikely to.
I'm not a golfer.
Okay,
Green or white.
okay,
I'm colorblind.
all right. Nari, can you stop sharing? So. And again, I will make sure
Oh, Mira.
everyone has the maps easily accessible. Hi, Carla. I see Carla Ramos from LA Conservation Corps has joined us.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. We're just running through presentations. We're up to news. So Glenn, do you have anything from Encino Neighborhood Council?
So just a reminder from what I announced the last couple months is that Encino Fest is scheduled for Sunday, May 31st, 2 to 5 p.m. at Encino Park. The largest event of the year for Encino. And I'm not part of the planning committee, but I did mention a couple months ago that if any individual group wanted to participate in an exhibition or have information there, I don't, as far as like an information table, but if you wanted to,
What's the date for that again?
May 31st, Sunday, May 31st. 2 to 5 p.m. But obviously you said prior to then. So, yeah, if that was something of interest, I can get you the name of one of the people involved, and if they have an info table and you don't want to be there, that's fine. Just put your information out for the public to take. We can get it left over there. Okay, then the Parks and Environment Committee having its first meeting of the year tomorrow night after the LA City's ADA compliance session that we're all affected with. So it's at 8:15. I just want to give you a couple updates of relevant things on the agenda. Just a quick update on the park needs assessment, and I'm hearing possible ballot, heading to ballot, possibly update on the arming of park rangers council file in 2020. I think the bulk of the meeting is it's designed to be a short meeting. Town hall and park and environmental topics and concerns for anything in Encino that anyone may have, just to kind of help set the agenda. Or an update on the city park advisory boards that are available in Encino, which are here, and Encino Community Center. And then I don't think we'll do anything, but introducing the artificial turf.
Oh boy.
Council file 240602 for probably possibility future consideration, and then any future items. which includes its future items at LA20, the Olympics. But we're not doing that tomorrow. We're just saying we're gonna do it.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
But I have a copy of the agenda if anyone wants to
Okay.
see it.
Or you can Google Encino Neighborhood Council and find it.
Right. So they are.
I think Carla's gonna have a little presentation for us. I'm going to make Carla a co-host.
Thank you. Let me see here. So let me go ahead and share my screen if it's okay with everybody. Let's see here. I think I may need your help helping me. I'm not used to using Zoom. I'm usually doing other platforms, but I'm not seeing the sharing option.
It should be down at the bottom of your screen.
Oh, there I see
And
it.
you should have options like participants and then share is one of them.
I think I see it. Let's see here. Huh. Okay, sorry, I have to reset my settings. It's not letting me share. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry about that.
Carla, if you move your cursor towards the bottom of the screen, you should see options pop up in a black line.
Yes, so if you move your cursor down to the bottom, you should see like audio, video, then you should
Share,
see
right?
a black bar going across the bottom.
Yeah, for some reason it's I think it's my settings. It's not letting me share, and I don't know why, because I did authorize it to share. It only allows me to cancel. Sorry about that. Let me see here.
Huh?
She's the co-host.
She is a co-host.
Okay.
There.
Now it's allowing me. Now it's allowing me. Thank you.
You have located it. And I'm going to unpin. There we go.
Okay. Can you all see my screen?
We can see your screen.
Okay, good. Alrighty, so good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Carla Ramos from LA Conservation Corps, and thank you for making the time to allow us to share a little bit about what we've done so far. I know last month I shared very, very briefly what we were hoping to do, but I'll go ahead a little bit more in detail. So LA Conservation Corps is actually, we're actually celebrating our 40th anniversary. And our mission is to provide young adults from 18 to 26 years old job opportunities to learn different types of skills for them to be able to obtain a living wage job, better than a living wage job. Ideally, we try to partner up with employers where, like, MRCA, just different entities, government entities, ideally U.S. Forest Service, California Conservation Corps, and so forth. But of course, not all of our participants want to go into this field. So we try to expose them to as many type of projects that we can do within the community. Many of them varying from, litter abatement, fire fuel reduction, tree planting, food rescue, composting. So the list goes on. And so we're happy to provide those opportunities for our youth. As we are doing this, obviously fire fuel reduction is one of our types of projects that we have been doing for many, many decades. And we have the experience doing it with the staff that we've had for many years already. So I'll go ahead and start with our slideshow. Let me see here. I should be able to share this without. There you go.
There you go.
Sorry.
There you go.
So we've actually, why Sepulveda Basin? So we were actually asked, to assist LAFD with some of the issues that they were encountering, which was obviously a lot of fire fuel, a lot of fires that were being set up by homeless encampments. You know, and as we understood correctly, and I hope we understood this correctly, there were roughly about 324 fires in an 18-month period between January 2024 through June 2025. And so obviously that's a lot of resources that were being, you know, redirected to handle these situations, and, you know, and emergencies had to be put on the side. And so when we met with LAFD, you know, it was very clear that obviously something had to be done. And so we were happy to be able to start some of these efforts to try to do some fire fuel reduction out at Sepulveda Basin back in July 2025. And so I'll go ahead. And so obviously, you know, I'm a San Fernando native, Valley native for many, many years. Well, grew up in the San Fernando Valley, so it's really my backyard. And we obviously want to be able to give back to the community as we're not only developing our youth, but teaching them the importance of why we do what we do. And so obviously Sepulveda Basin is, you know, it's obviously serves as a natural environment for many of our participants as well, that they use this as a recreational area. And so it's pretty neat to see when we assign them work to do work out there and they take family or friends out there, they tend to talk about what they're doing and why it's important, right? So I'll go ahead and go to the next slide. I think I talked a little bit about this. So the goals of the work that we're doing here is to reduce the reduce fire fuel, and do some vegetation management, remove as many invasive species as we could while preserving as many natives, both flora and fauna, and obviously, I think I mentioned the fire risk reduction, right? The work that we completed since back in 2025, we began with 2 crews. Initially, we started off on Woodley Avenue doing some median work. And like some of you shared already earlier on this call, the medians are ready to be tackled again and are being tackled. So as you know, that's what nature does. It grows back out. And so having a consistent plan always helps. Currently, we're sending one of our River Ranger crews out to Zone 11, which is obviously down here in this section. And as many of you may have already visited, it's a pretty vegetation dense area, and it has taken a lot of work. But you know, we're happy to hear when our corps members go out there and they come back, you know, telling us today we felled, you know, 20 trees. I mean, it's little by little, it's one crew. Each crew consists of only 5 participants and 1 supervisor. And so obviously the dents that we're making on a daily basis, I like to think that we're making a big difference in, you know, a big impact in a 1 month or 2 month span. So that's essentially what we've been doing since then. In Zone 11. And we've actually had, I know Pat and I believe some of you may have, like I said, may have gone out there and helped us also identify certain native plants that we want to keep and what we don't want to keep. These are some of those pictures of that area. This actually looks pretty clean. We had already removed the debris that was already there, but as you can see, there's still a lot of vegetation. And the vegetation, again, that we are tackling either are dead trees, non-natives. The Mexican palm seems to be a very common plant tree out there. Let me see, here are some of our participants at work. And you know, it takes a lot, and little by little we are making a dent out in that section. Here are some pictures of our, you know, I showed you the previous before here, and here is after, where you're able to actually step without, being in fear of having to step on something that you shouldn't be stepping on. I know we came across a lot of booby traps. Luckily, we had no injuries due to those, but moving slowly and safely is one of, we take, again, safety very, very seriously, and it's one of our pet peeves. Safety comes first. We handle what we can, one load at a time. Here are some pictures with Mayor Karen Bass when she came out a couple of times to the basin and, recognized our participants, which again, these are the times that we are very happy to have our participants partake in these types of programs. And the overall impact, I think, like I shared before, just so you know, for reference, the 324 fires in an 18-month span were pulled from an application that I believe was submitted to CAL FIRE. So I believe they were also provided by LAFD at some point, which is great to see that there's been a great reduction. I believe it is now 1 or 2 fires. They don't know the exact amount, but about 1 or 2 fires a month if we average it out to 18 fires per month, that total of 324 fires. And like I mentioned before, this has freed up LAFD for emergency resources and other critical incidents. And so far, we've cleared about 180 locations within Zone 11. Total area covered over 81,200 square feet. The breakdown of the vegetation abatement, 49.36 tons cleared. And this has all been, just stuff that has been removed with the help of LA San and their, vegetation debris containers that they've been providing consistently, which has been a great help. And what that equals to square feet is about 79,180 square feet. Trash removed as well. It's about 17,960. If we averaged it to a certain weight per bag, so it's about 2.14 tons of trash alone. Illegal dumping, we've come across at least over 200 sites that have been cleared in that section. And the future work, we're working with Pat, with Larry, and a few other individuals that are part of this meeting. Sorry, I have yet to learn all of your names, but I hope to learn, I'll get to know a little bit more about you all in the coming months. We are actually in hopes that we will be getting further funding for our Prop 4. We're expecting about $200K to be issued out to the local LA Conservation Corps through funds that were appropriated for local conservation corps. And we also applied for LA 28, which we have not gotten a response back, but we're hopeful that we might be able to tap into those funds as well. And for those two potential funding sources, I don't know if you can see this little measurement area. It's where these are the two sections that we had proposed in these two proposals. So it's a pretty good chunk of the I'm drawing a blank. I'm so sorry. The what do we call it? The not gel tape, but Bull Creek, thank you. The Bull Creek area. So, and by the way, oh, it's right there. Sorry, it's crossed off. It was also nice to meet many of you in person a few weeks back when we did that walk, just taking a look at what the area needed. I feel like every time I go out to that particular area and just walk it over, something small changes, but it makes a big difference. And so we're really hopeful that with these potential funds that come through, that we should be able to make a big impact. And one of the things that I did share last time, I know that I had focused on fire flow reduction, but the nice thing about, at least for our Prop 4 funding, is that we have the ability to always request for modification of some of the deliverables. So I am going to ask if we do get those funds to be able to focus more on the restoration piece rather than fire field reduction. We truly do care about the natives, native plants and the flora and fauna. And so we want to be able to take, make an impact, a positive impact with, being able to conserve the native and endangered plants and wildlife. So that's it in a nutshell. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Thank you. I have one comment.
Okay.
Your map has it shows an area 12. Actually, that whole area that you've got marked 11 and 12 is all 11.
Oh, they changed it to 11. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and the deal with the eastern portion of it is, as you get further east towards the LA River, you get more native vegetation, and in the biological survey that Dr. Cooper did, he noted that, once you start moving down further in that direction to contact us and we'll get someone out to help tag the natives.
Got it. Thank you. I appreciate that, Pat. And that's great information. I will definitely pass it along to our crews. Right now, we're still knee deep into the western side of Zone 11. So still a lot of work, but I'm pretty confident that we'll get to that section as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have Glenn?
So just a comment question on the Bull Creek ecosystem restoration area. So millions of dollars were spent both in the design, engineering, construction, and planting of that area many years ago. We heard earlier that perhaps maintenance hasn't kept up with the need. But I just wanted to express my concern that because it was all native plants that were planted in there, after it was basically bare soil when they did the construction, that from my perspective, the methodology that you're going to be using there is should be pretty much totally the opposite of what you've done in the Encino Creek section that you just showed, in terms of treating possibly some volunteer non-natives and removing those, and then figuring out how to appropriately address the natives that now over, I'm not sure, 20 years, maybe, have grown up. But I think it requires much more, not sure what the right word is, but definitely expertise. Is not, from my perspective, it's not a fuel reduction project. It may be a non-native removal. It may be if you're doing the work that should be done by the lessee, which is Recreation and Parks. If you're doing their job of clearing trails, great. There's a clear line of the boundaries of those decomposed granite trails. And I suppose back a little bit, but I'm not gonna, some people would have to advise on them. So I just want to publicly express that concern.
Yeah.
And that we make sure this committee was deeply embedded in the whole design, actually before the design, but during the design, everything on this project. So, and I was part of that. So I just want to make sure that we're very much embedded in whatever is being done there. And we're really clear. And I think it's important to come to us ahead of time with the appropriate other entities such as Native Plant Society, Audubon, certainly the city, and the other folks who have expertise in it.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. I think that was well said. We did a walkthrough with Larry to talk about the approach there, and completely agree. It's really not a place for vegetation clearance. It's predominantly natives, really valuable habitat, endangered species nest in there. And so what we discussed was after they try to house the people who are living there, that the focus would be trash removal and then potentially trail maintenance. And then there's a little bit of area along the edge of Balboa Park where we might be able to do some invasives removal, but it would not be significant vegetation removal, as you mentioned. So yeah, basically describing it as sort of the opposite of Delta is really helpful because the other area is basically entirely disturbed, non-natives. This is the complete opposite of that. So priorities are trash removal, trail maintenance, and very sensitive minimal vegetation removal. And then there was also discussion of potentially removing the fence, which was originally sort of, I think, put in to maybe keep people out, but instead created, I think, more incentive for people to
hide in their
habitat and hide in there. So we talked about potentially replacing that chain link fence with a more traditional restoration area fence, like that post, kind of fence. So that's something we can discuss with the city as well. But yeah, we look forward to working with you on that, and we really appreciate the interest of the Corps. And as we talked with the group during the tour about this type of any work in there would have to be in the fall and well after nesting season, right? It's sensitive habitat.
I assume chain link, you're referring to the bank failure.
Yes.
On the east side of.
Yes,
the creek.
that thing is completely unneeded and it has a very negative impact.
Yeah.
And
it kind of runs all along the back end of Lake Balboa.
I'd like to also point out, we are getting Mexican fan palms and Sbwasc in there. And that should be carefully eradicated. There's not a lot yet, but we know how fast it proliferates. So, definitely a search and destroy on that stuff.
So that needs to be removed, but that needs to be removed carefully. Sounds like it.
It needs to be removed thoroughly and,
You need to get all the roots of the palm, that both of them.
or you have to treat them.
Because I've never heard of those plants before. I don't even know what they look like.
Well,
I'll trust you
right
there.
down Burbank Boulevard, that's all that's there.
Okay.
It's, along Encino Creek.
That was Steve Hartman's mantra for decades, was Sbwasc.
And that's,
it's not the only place that there's palm. I mean, we got palms.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the sooner they, and that's part of maintenance, because as soon as you see them, you don't let them get big.
You kill them.
Yeah, because when they get bigger, it's so much more work.
And you can't put them in greenways. They are horrible. And, either they need to be completely removed, which as they get bigger is basically impossible. If you go down into the LA River where they did almost a complete removal of Sbwasc and fan palms in the LA River west of Balboa, you will see on the cut stumps of the Sbwasc, they've got like crisscrosses cut into them, and then they treat it with something to keep it from resprouting.
It's pretty hard to get rid of, yeah.
They nuke it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is getting in that Bull Creek area, and it needs to be really nipped in the bud. And then
but I think we do digress a little bit, Carla. I do want to make it clear, we are so deeply appreciative of the Corps' work in the basin. We are really looking forward to working with you on these other areas, but the impact along the Delta area has just been amazing, and we're really grateful for all of the folks who put in their sweat equity, and also just want to acknowledge that there have been some dangerous encampment areas in there, and that focus on safety and keeping the workers safe and everything that you've done is just really amazing. So thank you.
No, thank you. And again, we're here to help in any way. So we are definitely going to ask for your advice if we do get awarded for these additional funds. We will take everything that you say and make sure we apply that. I mean, for us, I apologize. The first time I came around, I'm like, I had no idea it was a restoration project. But knowing this, we definitely want to support that. So we're happy to be able to be a part of that. Thank you.
Yeah, and we're happy to do another walkthrough with you if you'd like to really help you understand the area a little better, I think it would probably be valuable.
Yeah,
As a
absolutely. Thank you.
Definitely. Okay, thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you.
I'll remove the spotlight. Do we have any questions for Carla from anyone else? It looks like no, and
I think I've got one. Carla, these grants, would it be beneficial for interested parties, like the groups that around this table, to be supportive of your grant application? Is that the way it works? Or-
Absolutely. Yeah. Whenever we come across grants, letters of support are always welcome. We actually, for these two other grants, they were already submitted. So we might be a little bit past the deadline, but I don't think they would ever hurt to support, because they're still being reviewed, as we understand on our end. So yeah, definitely. And I appreciate you offering, and because it does make a difference. So thank
You
you.
may want to submit more details, maybe a paragraph or two, what the granting entity is and what your request was, and just we could share that, and then any group that was so inclined to, wants to support.
Thank you.
it.
Okay. Thank you.
I think you can start bringing cushions like to Hollywood Bowl if we can.
is your butt going to slip?
All these shares. I agree with you.
Why don't you ask the neighbor council to provide cushion chairs like we did for the.
Okay,
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
George, do you know anything about the technical advisory committee to reevaluate herbicide use?
No, I don't know anything about.
Do you know anything?
So all I know is that so far there's only been one meeting there. I was not able to attend that meeting. The next one is coming up soon though, and I will be able to attend, so I can certainly ask about that. I did they sent out a document for review that had just mostly best practices for integrated pest management planning in general. But I brought up two main issues. Just a stronger emphasis on ecological impacts and ensuring that we're, really clear on things like rodenticides, but at the same time, also considering the difference between use in a grass park space versus restoration applications of herbicide. So I am hoping that will be a topic of.
Okay, I would like to know about it when it's like happening.
Yeah, keep you posted. Yeah, I think the charge of this advisory committee is not specific to that. It's broadly developing an integrated pest management plan for rec and parks. But I think that would be a very appropriate topic for them to tackle.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, we already discussed because basically we don't need an 8-foot tall forest of poison hemlock.
No,
we really don't. Which we had.
And I've shared with them, kind of best practices or stuff related to UC. So the University of California did approach this topic, and we do treat those cases differently. The restoration areas, because we have reserves versus the campus lawns and those.
Right.
I think this should hopefully be something that can get addressed.
Okay. So we already discussed writing a letter requesting signage in the wildlife areas and the trails, and I will be copying everyone on that letter. Probably I can get it out this week. And the attached to the agenda, there's the approximate map of where the LA 28 events were going to be based on a discussion that Charles Hannah and I had with one of the folks from LA 28. We do not know if that'll change or not change.
Share that?
Huh?
Do you want to share that map that is in the link in the agenda?
It is, I have to find it here, hold on. The problem is I do all my work on my other computer and then I have to find stuff here.
Sorry, what are we looking for?
We're looking for the Olympic venue map that I attached.
The one that was linked in the agenda? I put it in the Zoom chat. A link to it.
Oh, okay, let me find it.
You might have lost it because of the connection loss, so if you need to, I can drop it in there again, or.
I did lose it.
Yeah, so if someone who didn't lose connection could repost it, thank you, Ryan reposted it.
Who?
Ryan from Fuller.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm not there in person.
Happens to the best of us. I'm glad to see you online, and thanks for all the amazing work this weekend with that LA 28 stuff. That's
Okey doke. For some reason. I went to try to find it and now my Zoom is like disappeared.
no. What did you want to see? I can open it on my.
I really
computer
don't
and
want to
screen
see
share.
it, but,
Oh,
okay.
Yes, maybe, could you share it?
yes, yeah, I can screen share for a sec here and show the video. So here is the document. It shows the two main areas are Lake Balboa and then Woodley Lake Golf Course. So here is the Woodley Lake area.
We can't go.
There we go.
I was sharing on my end, maybe my connection's not real.
There it is.
There it is, okay. So this is the Woodley Lakes Golf Course area, so that's like the little clubhouse space over there. And these are the main venue areas, so not much, you know, in the way of.
Yeah, so all the venues are actually north of the golf course per
Yeah.
se.
You know, that little pond right there is actually a pretty active little spot, habitat wise.
Their pond is super.
It's great, it's a really good location, so.
Yeah, quite
I-
often,
I would say of these three venue sites, in terms of just impact on wildlife, I'd be most concerned about
yeah, this pond
that
is,
Valley Complex 3. You know, I'd love to get a better understanding of what they might be building there, and so hopefully we'll.
What you say, it can be.
oh, this is the armory.
Okay, that is, and that, what was the red lettering?
Valley Complex 1, Valley Complex 3, and Valley Complex.
Yeah,
So
so,
this is where the aquatic center.
And as the note indicates,
The aquatic center, just FYI.
and the location of audience staging and security is not finalized. There's a lot they're still figuring out here. So this is, you know, I wouldn't take this as set in stone, but it gives us an idea of their
Yeah.
part. And
That-
then
that's what
this
they
is
were
the Lake
thinking.
Balboa area for BMX, which is the Valley Complex 4. It's just to the north of the lake, and you can see one sat in the perimeter there. There would be a loss of one tree, but as noted earlier in the meeting, I think there would be quite a lot of planting, and they are already starting to do some helpful restoration work.
Yeah.
So hopefully, goal is leave it nicer than you found it. So
Right.
that goes.
I imagine they will. And, so there's that.
Thank you.
Maybe we can get LA 28 back for another
I think it
presentation.
would be good, because things seem to be developing, so yeah, let's ask.
But let's, check with them for next time.
Yeah, or next month, maybe one of the other following months,
Okay.
when they have more to share.
Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing new, but, we'll check with them. Chrysalis, we may have them next month. River Project, are we just kind of,
I thought, so did we not do the vote yet? We should do the vote if we did.
or did we?
I couldn't remember.
Let me,
We can do it again just in case. So for anyone who missed it, you know, our dear friend and colleague Melanie Winter passed away, and we did speak with the board for the River Project. There are some remaining board members and kind of consultants that worked with Melanie. Unfortunately, none of them live in Los Angeles, although there are some who are very educated. So we decided not to have the River Project as a voting member anymore, but to invite them to participate. Which reminds me that I need to send the calendar invitation, so Jessica, who worked very closely on Melanie's, Sepulveda Basin planning documents, may be able to join us for some future meetings, but because she wouldn't be able to be here in person and the current Brown Act restrictions do require in-person voting members at this time, we are going to remove the river project so that it does not impact quorums. So I will make a motion to shift the river project to a non-voting member, if that's a thing.
Okay, I'll
rather
second
than
that.
remove
I don't think it's actually a thing.
Well, we have the neighborhood councils were previously non-voting.
Right, but that was specifically created that way, so I think we don't have anyone else. It was specifically this,
Well, we move members to not in good standing, which
Right.
means they can't
They're-
vote,
They'll
so
be not in good standing
I
and
don't like that designation because obviously, she's not able to be here,
we
but
can call them an emeritus.
yeah,
Yeah, they're already not in good standing because they are attended.
Right,
right, exactly.
That's the
So that's the status that they will be put in, but I would like to acknowledge on the record that it is not because
We
there's
will-
not an interest.
okay, we will figure out how to do that.
okay, but if you're gonna make it a permanent thing, you need to change your standing rules, because for 15 years, there's been this debate regarding, so there's a specific section about neighborhood councils, it's not a catch-all, it's specifically for neighborhood
For
council.
neighborhood.
So if you wanna bring in another group, probably should create a different.
I mean, we can just remove it entirely, I don't think, I was only leaving it as sort of not in good standing in case. If this Brown Act stuff changes, then I think they could participate remotely as voting members, so. Rather than removal, I think let's just shift to not in good standing, which doesn't require a vote, we'll just acknowledge that.
Okay,
So they are a non-voting member. And when a member is not in good standing and non-voting, they would not affect quorum in the
That's
same way.
right,
They're not on the list now, so.
no. Okay,
And they could, but then they have to go through the process of
Getting back in.
attendance over X number of people.
Yeah, to regain the
Yeah.
vote, that's fair,
mhm.
okay.
The Haskell Creek blockages, which I know Muriel's very concerned about, right now. Sanitation cannot do anything there because there's birds nesting in it. So they're aware of the situation. I will remind them again. But there's definitely downstream blockages in Haskell Creek that need to be cleaned out. And, hopefully they can get in there like in August maybe and get it cleaned out,
August, oh, after nesting season.
right? I had a discussion with, Trevor Snyder of the Army Corps regarding the LA River embankment collapsing, which is near the Great Blue Heron Rookery. And, his takeaway, which is kind of interesting and, is that's an area of the river that is both natural bottom and natural embankment. And it's doing what rivers do, it's meandering. And it's meandered a chunk out of the Woodley Golf Course, and now it's on the verge of meandering a chunk out of the Balboa Golf Course, so it leaves a very, very narrow path there that is hazardous because it's about 20 feet off the side of it. And everyone is still running through there. So his feeling is that, part of the vision plan is to let the river do what the river wants to do. And it would be a massive, massive expenditure on the base, from the Army Corps to actually fix it. So he feels that the onus is on the city to move the pathways around it. So kind of makes sense to me. But I mean, if you actually went there and looked at it, you can envision how much this would probably cost. And, their budgets go years ahead. It's not gonna get fixed. So. Do we have an update from California Native Plants? George?
Well, we continue to weed and we're hanging in there, that's about it. We're doing the black plastic thing, I don't know if you've noticed.
I have.
And it seems to be a good thing, maybe scaled up right away is to, scorch the peat scums as it goes down in the dirt. And, so we're seeing how that's going along.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're also seeing the problems of expanding all this planting that we've done. Well, 2 years later, it's smothered in weeds.
Mm-hmm.
And so the maintenance aspect of it is
Overwhelming.
The California Conservation Corps thing that we were just talking about. I know Steve Hartman and I believe Steve Hartman and Polar were talking about putting in proposal to have them do our creek starting and basically unblockade it and remove invasives and so forth.
Yeah, that would be great.
Good thing.
I also noticed there's a lot more mustard down at the end where the water intake is. I feel like it's a lot more than it used to be,
Where the water intake.
or outflow or whatever it is. So if you start at the amphitheater and you go that way,
Yeah.
it's like the end before you
On the
turn
east side of the.
on the west side of the lake.
On the main path.
Yeah, the main path, west side of the lake.
Okay.
I think because of the fires, I think there used to just be such nice thick rows and coyote bush that kind of kept things out, and there's a lot of mustard
You
down
can see it.
that.
Are you talking about the west field on the west of
Walking
West?
along the path.
No, I'm talking about the
down
main
to
path around the lake. As you're going to the south end on the main path of the lake, there's a lot of mustard.
Yes, there is.
pushing into the reserve that I think was not there pre-fire, and it's, because there was a
Lower
lot.
down the path.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot.
Used to be a lot of dense
We never went
roses
there.
and stuff that would get out there. Yeah, and it never used to need weeding.
Well,
But I'm
no,
just pointing
you
out.
just couldn't see it because of the rows and.
Right, well, I think it really
It was
wasn't,
there.
I think it wasn't there as much. It wasn't able to get a foothold the way it has now post-fire, so.
Well,
Just
that's-
something to keep an eye on, and maybe if we do get some real effort with outside volunteers that.
Yeah.
Cause I do worry about it continuing to spread into the reserve from that end to.
Yeah.
Can we bring the goats back? Well, on leash?
Yeah.
Everybody-
You want
everybody gets a goat on a leash.
1,000 leashes?
I mean, it would be interesting to see if we could ever get controlled fire and that's obviously such a powerful
Yeah.
change. But what we've also seen is all kinds of different things happen there.
All sorts of,
We have your crazy bastard
the
cabbage.
crazy bastard cabbage.
This is amazing. You're
Yeah.
pulling chocolate that was taller than a person
Uh-huh.
this morning, it's really. So it's interesting, it's always changing,
Yeah.
but
Well,
there's only so much we can do. It needs to transition to a point where it's being done professionally and there's enough resources to
Exactly.
yeah.
do something about it.
But yeah, you guys do an amazing job given me.
Yes, we do. And with Polar, it makes it possible, but then we don't know. It's hard to focus our efforts.
Right.
Should we be here? Should we be there? It's too hot to work here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean,
a
it's,
limited.
yeah.
field.
Okay.
thousands of acres.
It's not. So the thing that I think we should have is. Rec Park should have a gardener whose only job is to do. The wildlife preserve.
Mhm.
It's
That
more
would be
than
the dream.
for one.
One gardener.
A gardener, one position.
I mean, right now, there's no
And
real
that-
positions
and
focused on
would
the
belong to
That's
that.
a big gardener.
That would be an amazing improvement, if that person would have ownership, and could just. Like, work on keeping it passively all year round. There's more than enough work.
Muriel has a question?
Well, I have a crazy idea. Would it be possible to organize a community event where people pull and take home the bastard cabbage as food? Without giving people the
delicious.
idea that they can just go into the wildlife reserve and pick anything.
So there's a foraging chef, Pascal Baudouin, and he does some of what he calls invasivore cuisine.
Yes.
Of cooking mustard and such. So you could potentially have a class that was about what you could make with bastard cabbage, and again, let people know that they can't just pick it any time, but we have certain days that you can come and pick and eat. I think that would be really cool. There's probably,
I have a whole bunch of recipes for it.
yeah, I'm sure there's like liability issues with encouraging people.
Listen, I was in there
I
with
don't
a
know
group.
about Rec and Parks giving this permission.
I was in there with a group and they wanted to sample the hemlock because it looks lovely when it's fresh.
Yeah, that's the thing, is there, it can be really dangerous,
Yeah.
so I,
Sample hemlock.
that's tricky,
Yeah.
but we could still do education about it, whether or not we host an event.
We'll figure something out. I'm doing a lot of follow-up work in the goat race area, by the way.
Another thought along those lines is the possibility of harvesting the cabbage and giving it to a food bank if we know that that is specifically the safe cabbage. It's not the hemlock. I mean, they don't look anything alike, obviously, but.
Huh?
You can all those.
All the mustards.
Yeah, the mustard's edible. I nibble the flowers sometimes when I'm walking around.
They're kind of tasty.
And I try not to steal too many current berries from birds.
And, you know.
But they're very small.
Anyhow, maybe you could make wine out of it.
One other thing about CMPS is we're real serious, it's interesting working with Powell and them. And we're talking about developing some sort of certification program, education program for the FOLAR employees and anybody else who wants to learn about what we know about habitat restoration in the wildlife reserve. So that they'll be gradually taking over from what CMPS is doing.
Alrighty. Polar, Ryan, do you have a little update from Polar?
Sure. Let me get my numbers back up on my screen from the last week. We have definitely been very, very busy. We've had 4 restoration events in the past 8, 9 days, and 1 more tomorrow with a group of, I think, middle or high schoolers that our education team is going to bring out, maybe about 40, 50 students. Let's see. But from the first 4 events, let me look at our total. We had 453 volunteers across those 4 different groups, and we cleared out, let me see the number of gallons. We do it by gallons with those leaf bags. So about 8,900 gallons of mainly thistle and a little bit of the mustard. I'm trying to think, George, was there anything else that we worked on last Saturday? Was it those 2?
You've been doing coca loading, mellow lotus. That's what you've been doing mainly, and mustard.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. And then acreage wise, we cleared about 1.4 acres of the area around the previously planted location that's to the east of the reservoir that we had planted with a CMPS. What was that, about a little over a year ago? So yeah, as George was alluding to, that restored area is definitely encroached on, and I've noticed a difference since joining Folar about a year ago, that the mustard isn't coming back in that section. It's the star thistle that's really the hot ticket invasive plant of the moment, and it's really tough with our volunteers. You know, we tried at the Earth Month celebration 2 Saturdays ago on the 18th. We had several people that were getting skin reactions to coming into contact with the thistle. So we had to adjust our plan of attack for the latter events. And I think with our new tools that we have brought out and some new techniques that we're sharing with the volunteers, who most of them have no experience with gardening, no green thumbs whatsoever. it's been working out really well. The last 3 events, we didn't have any issues. Nobody was complaining about skin irritations from the thistle. So safety wise, really big success for those latter 3. And yeah, we're doing really well with the restoration. And thanks to George for coming out last Saturday. We missed you at the previous Saturday. We definitely would have loved your support, but thankfully we have other CMPS volunteers coming out. Paula at Rec LA has been just a wealth of knowledge and expertise and support for our habitat restorations. And yeah, looking forward to doing more work that Narit was talking about with LA28. Hopefully we can collaborate more with them at the Basin for more restoration, and then bringing out more volunteers to support that work at the reserve, and other partners. We have some corporate partners that we would love to bring back out again, maybe in the fall season. So yeah, lots of good success there. And I think that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And Narit, you have an LA Audubon update?
No, ma'am.
Kathy, do you have a NCSA update?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Glenn, do you have an RCD update?
I didn't, because I didn't hear from them, I didn't ask, so.
Okay, the answer is no. For San Fernando Valley Audubon, we will have the form up to, we'll have the form up to sign up for our banquet, which is going to be June 6th. And I just got the form designed today. And let me think what else. Muriel, what am I blanking on? Let me think. We still have our big bird walk. The first Sunday is this coming Sunday. It is a birdathon event. It's birdathon is our big fundraiser that helps pay for the SB program. And let me think. I can't think anything else.
Done.
The time?
Huh?
Sunday, what time this Sunday?
8 o'clock. So yeah, we're going to continue the beginner bird walks, which are the second Saturdays. Those will continue through year round now. And
but they'll be starting earlier in the morning. They'll be starting at 8. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. You can always, I left a bunch of newsletters for our San Fernando Valley Audubon. The newsletters are over there. Take one. You can always check our website. Oh, Birds and Beer. Birds and Beer will be May 14th. That is not in the newsletter. It is on the website now. So we'll be sending out promo on that. Our Birds and Beer walk will go from the Woodley Lakes Golf Course over to Bull Creek and around the little circle at Bull Creek. So that's it. And do we have anything from Sierra Club? Joe?
Angela's chapter, I had a executive committee meeting over the weekend, and we talked about, I believe Angela's chapter had over 20 Earth Day events that happened over the different entities for the Angela's chapter. The bulk of the executive committee meeting over the weekend dived into endorsements, political endorsements. There are a lot of different political endorsements, but very busy weekend.
Terry? Committee member comments not on agenda. The next regular meeting is May 26th. So I think we do have quite, I was expecting to be seeing the master plan draft. I've been looking at the core announcements like every week.
I forgot about the master plan.
You know, it's,
Been a little while.
so they're saying it'll be July before we see it. So, you know, go for the May meeting, it's the day after the Memorial Day holiday, we may or may not want to have the meeting. So let's see if we have anything going on that we really should have the meeting, we'll have the meeting, otherwise I may cancel it, because I know, also, for example, I am out of town because my son and my stepson's getting married that weekend. So, yay,
My nephew is getting married that weekend.
all right. So,
And I'm planning on being out of town that week, starting on that Monday.
yeah, so I think we may cancel May. You know, I won't announce the cancellation for a little while, and then we'll plan on resuming in June. Unless anyone objects vigorously. And that said, I think it's 8:26, the meeting is duly concluded.
Can I, before you dully
Yes.
disappear, Pat is getting, I know this because Nurit was nice enough to send an announcement, but Pat is being honored by, I believe it's the Valley United Chambers of Commerce, as an inspirational woman. And she deserves it.
Thank you, and our San Fernando Valley Audubon is Senator Stern's, it's Senator Stern's nonprofit of the year.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's amazing what 1,000 goats can do. Thank you, everyone, for
It's
being.
on TV.
Huh?
Gets you on TV.
Oh, man, we were on, I was exhausted by the time those damn goats left. I'm telling you, it was like every time I turned around. So anyhow, thank you, everyone, for being here. And, anyone, if I didn't call on anyone, now's your chance, and otherwise, we're gonna turn this off.
Okay.